Hey guys, Benji here with a video of the week. The question is, what have you learned from the wisest person you've known? Um, Wisest person I know. I would have to say that I can't imagine that there's one person that I know that's the wisest. I think there's a group of people that are wise, and so I'll just kind of go down people that I can think of that I think are smart. Um, I think um, my dad would be considered one of the wisest people I know. And I think his is from a standpoint of um, personal relationships and being kind. So I think I can't imagine there are very many people out there that are like, man, I really think that Greg Lewis is a jerk. Um, he doesn't. Um, where I differ from my dad is that I can be strong in my views, in my opinions. And sometimes I wish maybe dad was a little stronger. Um, but he's not. He wants to keep the peace. He wants to be everybody to be happy and be liked. He doesn't want to cause any argument or consternation. Sometimes him and I will get into it, but we're not really, like getting into it. But we like to debate. But Dad just does a good job of being kind all the time, and I think the older I get, the more that I see that as such a benefit, such a positive on his life, that I think it. It's just such a benefit. It's just it's a thing that a smart person would do. And the older I get, the kinder people are the ones that you end up gravitating towards, and that you think are, they maybe have it figured out because they're just not wasting their time with being mean or being evil, anything. So, um, who else? I think one of the smartest things that I've ever heard is you can tell somebody to fuck off tomorrow. And that is from a guy named Jim Gifford, an old friend of mine that lived in Toronto as part of the Last Minute Golfer group. And I think it was we had to be talking about like sending emails like to Mike Last, the guy that built the software and all that. And sometimes he was tough, and so you wanted to fire right back. And I was young, and I would fire right back. And Jim always said, keep in mind, you can tell somebody to fuck off tomorrow. And meaning, once you say it, you can't take it back, but you can always say it tomorrow. So I think that's a great lesson, and I've used that ever since then, ever since conversations with Jim, is to go, boy, I really want to let this one go. And as a younger person, I just did. I would type the email and I would be mean and I wanted to make all my points and I thought it was genius and I would send it and probably nothing good came from those. So that was one of the strongest or the smartest things that anyone's ever told me, is that you can, meaning, man, be patient. You can send that tomorrow. You don't have to send it back right now and get mad. You can wait, because the benefit is that as I do it now, as I wait now, sometimes I will still write the email. I won't put anybody in the to line. So just in the off chance that I happen to hit return or it hits send, that it doesn't send, I don't put the to line, but I will write the email and I will leave it in my drafts. And then I will look at the next day and I'm like, well, maybe I'll pare this down a little bit. And typically what happens is that I get rid of it. I delete it and I start all over. And the next email is 1 or 2 paragraphs long instead of 9, where I go into all the different points and hit each one. So that's one of the smartest things. And I think Jim was a really smart guy too. So I think he is a guy that, he's very, what would you call it? Deliberate, right? I think that's a good word for people that tend to be smart, is that they can pause they can take their thoughts. Next person that would come to mind on that would be Bruce Garner. Is that, whatever happens, I feel like Bruce just takes a pause, thinks about it, thinks maybe it's not so bad or maybe it's not so great. Just thinks, well, where does that leave us now? What can we do with this information? And what's the best course of action going forward? It's very methodical. And so I think that is a sign of intelligence, right? Is to not go, can you believe those people canceled that order? Can you believe that that employee quit? Can you believe that so-and-so said that? And instead go, hey, wait, take a breath, take a pause. How can we use this information and how can we make a better decision from this point going forward that is best for us and our team or our family or our friends or whoever? Who else I would consider really, really smart? A friend of mine, Jared Kenworthy, he's very smart on a logical standpoint. He's probably just one of the most logical people, like takes 99% of the emotion out of it. He just doesn't think about things from an emotional standpoint, even on things that you could get very emotional on. It's just, everything's very, so he's a numbers guy. He's been a professional card player. He's been an accountant. He's a numbers guy, and he just thinks of everything in a statistical manner. And then his demeanor is very logical. It's very straightforward. It's probably a lot of people would say boring, right? It's not, you're not gonna, I don't think I've ever seen Jared get upset. It's just, that's what happened, and now what do we do next? And that probably is the through line through all of this, is that the brightest people or the wisest people that I've known from the question, they tend to be, I guess you would call it more even-keeled, more deliberate, very moderate with their emotions, meaning they probably have a high emotional intelligence, and not really concerned with their IQ, right, or their ability to be intellectually smart, but their ability to be emotionally smart. Who else could be on that type of thing? On a different thing, probably Brad Shields would come to mind on someone that is emotionally intelligent and thinks things through, thinks about the repercussions of your words, your actions, how to react to something, thinking it through before reacting. And so that probably is what in my book makes somebody wise, is that there's not an immediate emotional response. You can have the emotional, the emotion internally, and you can want to lash back out and want to, do all the things that maybe I would consider dumb people would do, or maybe more immature people would do. Because I think there are a lot of people that they just react how the movie character would react, or the person on TV would react. And they watch that, right? We see that with every reality TV show, is because that's what makes a reality TV star, is that they lash back out, right? They get upset. They can't believe that girl picked the other guy, or that teammate backstabbed them, and they let them know. And the smart person, the person that probably wins those shows, which I haven't seen one of those shows in 20 years, but the people that probably keep their wits probably end up going, oh wow, I just got backstabbed, but I didn't die, I didn't get eliminated, so how can I use this? And knowing that I know this information, right? Where the stupid person would probably say, hey, I just found out this great piece of information, let me tell everybody I know, because I want them to think, man, that guy knows things, instead of going, wait, what if I keep it myself and I use it against other people to play this game? And that's all life and relationships are, right? A lot of times. So I think the wisest people, what have I learned from the wisest people? I'm actually like thinking this out loud now as I sit here, is they probably all are high emotional intelligence. They take a breath, take a pause before they do anything. It's almost like the people that are really good at speaking, right? There are some people that you go speak and you just know this guy's really, really nervous because he is just, hey, my name's Benji. I'm here to talk about this. This is what we're going to talk about. And here's the first point, and here's the second one, here's the third point. And the guy that's really good is that he's slow and he's deliberate and there's pauses and he's thinking about the words that are coming out of his mouth. He's not just trying to fill the void all the time. So that's what I think it is. I think the wisest people, because I don't know if I know, just trying to think about the wisest people I know. So I'm thinking, just thinking about successful people, and they don't have to be the richest people. It could be somebody that's just moderately okay, but boy, you think, man, that guy really has it together. Is that they all have those same traits. I think maybe a different way to think about it, what about the people that I think, man, that guy's an idiot? And it just goes to show you that it is the opposite of that. Anybody that I think, that guy, geez, he's trying so hard. He's loud and boisterous and he wants people to know. It's not the quiet confidence of someone that is smart, that has a high emotional intelligence, that is assured that he should be in the room and that can handle it. Right? It's the idea that when you're young, you might think that the brash Glenn Ross, right? Alec Baldwin's character, that's the fuck you, coffee's for closers. First place is a Cadillac, second place says steak knife, screw you. You think that guy's a baller. And as you get older, that you realize the guy that is actually quiet, calm, kind, thoughtful, deliberate is the wisest person. The guy that, a lot of times, right, you're never gonna, if you have a problem, you have a question, and you have a real question, you're not gonna go to your friend that's funny and loud and boisterous, typically, right? You are gonna go to that guy that you're like, that person seems to make all the right moves, seems to make all the right decisions. So, yeah, it's funny. That's a good question. What have you learned from the wisest person you've known? But what have you learned from the dumbest people you know too? It's the same answer, is don't do that, but do this, because that's what the smart people do. The smart people are a little bit more deliberate. So lesson in life is to emulate those people, right? Is to say, oh my gosh, the client just fired me. Oh my gosh, my boyfriend just left me. My girlfriend just left me. I can't believe that friend backstabbed me. Is to not immediately go to the phone, go to text, go to email. That's just not what smart people do, right? Smart people are gonna say, hey, relax. This too shall pass, but let's use this information and be smart with it. And by being smart might just be being quiet. It doesn't have to be a reaction. It's just like that in business, right? One of the strongest points you can make when when going back and forth over the price of something, right? Or just negotiating between, I'm not saying you're selling your business, but sure, that's a good one. But selling anything is that the person that doesn't really care if it gets sold or doesn't really care if anything happens, he has so much more power than the person that is like, I want to get this done. This needs to get done. So time, calmness, silent, that matters. And it's maybe not that it makes you smarter. It's maybe that the pause is what makes you seem smarter, because you've given it a little bit of time. You haven't responded immediately in the throes of battle here, right? You've instead said, let me take a minute, let me think about it, let me sleep on it, and let me get back to you. I mean, and so then your response is so much smarter than it would be had you immediately responded. So it's a good thing to do. It's a good lesson. So, and I think that's what all those smart guys that I know teach me, is that slow down, relax, you'll be fine. So this too shall pass, and you'll learn from this, or you'll actually glean something from this that you can use later on in the negotiation or with a relationship or something. Or maybe you just learn that, like, yeah, that friend is a jerk, or your girlfriend, she is cheating on you, or she is a scammer or something. But slow down, relax. It's smarter. It's the wisest way. So it's a good lesson. I'm glad to have had this video and thought about that and remind myself that those people are the smart people, and by slowing down and relaxing and taking a breath, it can make you seem that way too. And that doesn't make you seem that way. It does make you smarter, not from an IQ standpoint, but from a response standpoint, relationship standpoint. So, all right, see you guys.